Question. Sir John, in your opinion, did the MNLF integration program accomplish its objectives? If yes, why? If no, is the lack of demobilization and disarmament a contributor to the failure? Answer. The GPH and MNLF have different underlying objectives when they mutually agreed to include the integration program in the FPA. The objective of the GPH in the integration program is to demobilize the MNLF by means of subordinating some over 5,000 MNLF combatants into the command responsibility of the AFP and the PNP. The objective of the MNLF was to implant the good values of the MNLF into the AFP, hoping that AFP will reform, and hoping that the presence of MNLFs in the AFP will prevent AFP from oppressing the Islamic and indigenous communities. I would say that the completed implementation of the integration program has successfully accomplished the objectives of both parties. The integration program is a huge success, and we look forward for another round. You mentioned demobilization and disarmament. If your objective is peace and order in Mindanao, the last organization that you have to demobilize and disarm is the MNLF, because MNLF are the good guys out there. Please read the UN and the USDS report. Record shows that MNLF has 0 human rights violations, while the other armed groups identified as part of the GPH system are candidates for the Guinness Book of World Record in terms of human rights violations, especially in the field of extrajudicial killings. There is such a GPH program called Disarmament, Demobilization, and Reintegration, or DDR in short. DDR is a strategy of the GPH in Mindanao that is specifically designed as treatment for the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, or MILF. DDR is not designed for MNLF. I am a gun control advocate, and I have written so many blogs on the importance of tightening gun carry policies as a means to control gun-related crimes. As a gun control advocate, I do not recommend DDR to be applied on the MNLF because it will not accomplish anything. MNLF already completed the internal DDR in its organization even before the GPH thought about that program. In fact, the MNLF is now working out a plan of a very advanced program called Humanitarianization Program in its ranks, wherein we are preparing our members to become capable of providing humanitarian mission services for the OIC. We are looking forward to change the attitude of our members from freedom fighters to lifesavers. The MNLF is the organization in Mindanao with the greatest number of firearms. But unlike the other groups, we in MNLF teach our members to keep their guns in their houses as emergency equipment to protect their families and properties. We don't like our members to flaunt their guns around and behave like private armies. Disarming the good guys is pure nonsense because it will lead the good guys defenseless against the bad guys. I do recommend DDR to be applied by GPH to the MILF, NPA, Private Army, Abu Sayyaf, and even upon itself. The AFP and PNP being on top of the list of human rights violators, I think the DDR also has to be applied upon them. The AFP and PNP must not be allowed to carry firearms in public places. when they are off duty, and especially when they are not wearing uniforms. In MNLF, we are always worried when any of our leaders tend to separate from our organization, because we know that once they join other groups, there is a big chance that they will become bandits. I would personally guarantee that an armed individual who joins the MNLF would more likely become an agent of peace compared to an armed individual who joins the other armed groups in Mindanao. Question, Sir Jan, are the internalization program, continuing education program, and balik-baril program being offered by the GPH important and helpful in ensuring a peaceful integration? Answer, yes. These programs that you mentioned are very vital in ensuring success of the integration program. In fact, these programs could be made more vibrant if there is partnership between the GPH and the MNLF in the implementation. The MNLF has a firearm discipline program and firearm registration encouragement program that need funds to be implemented in wide scale. I am willing to sit down and discuss the possibilities of attaching these MNLF programs that sound similar with those programs of the GPH. I am not aware of the MNLF who benefited from the continuing education program of the GPH. I am not even aware that there exists such a thing. I am willing to be briefed about the CEP program. Question, Sir Jan, can the MNLF integration program be considered a successful rebel integration program in Mindanao? Answer, the rebel integration program of the GPH was applied on the MNLF, is completed but not yet fully successful in accomplishing its objectives to attain peace in Mindanao. As you can see, even after the completion of the MNLF integration program, there is still no peace in Mindanao because the presence of the other armed groups that are notorious. There is still a bigger challenge to achieve peace and order in Mindanao. We still have to face those MILF who burn entire towns and command of some invisible hand. Those Abu Sayyaf who make a living out of kidnapping and extorting money from local investors and tourists. Those private armies who can be easily used to massacre civilians and even journalists to attain political goals. And those rogue and abusive members of the AFP and police.